Welcome back to the deep dive. We cut through the noise, get straight to what matters from our source material, and today we're plunging into something really critical if you work with data in the cloud, Amazon S3. Specifically, protecting that data and controlling who gets access. We've got some great material here, kind of a beginner-friendly look, but at some seriously powerful S3 features. So our mission today, let's unpack three key S3 things: versioning, MFA Delete, and bucket policies. Think of them as, well, your ultimate safety net and maybe the best bouncer for your valuable data.
Exactly. And what's really interesting, I think, is how these features, which sound pretty technical, right? They solve very real-world problems, like stuff that keeps data managers up at night.
Like what?
Well, everything from accidentally deleting that crucial quarterly report,
Okay.
nightmare scenario,
Yeah.
to, dealing with more sophisticated attempts to get data out.
Okay.
This deep dive, I think it'll really sharpen how you think about securing information, especially now everything's moving cloud first.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. First up, the safety net. S3 versioning. What is it, really, and what's the big strategic plus? Why should basically everyone use it, even if they think they have backups covered?
Right. So versioning fundamentally changes data recovery. It shifts it from that reactive, oh gosh, I hope the backup from last night is good kind of thing,
Yeah, we've all been there.
to a proactive, okay, let's just restore that object to how it was 5 minutes ago capability. The material points out it keeps multiple versions of an object right there in the S3 bucket.
So if you overwrite something or delete it,
S3 just makes a new version, the old ones. They stick around, safe and sound, each with a unique ID. It kind of makes granular manual backups for single files almost redundant. Plus, you get this complete history, this audit trail, which is, a massive plus for compliance.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful for getting stuff back. How does it actually work day to day? The guide says you just flip a switch on the bucket.
Pretty much. You enable it, and from that second on, every upload, every change, it gets its own version ID.
And crucially, hitting delete doesn't actually wipe the old file.
Nope. It just slaps on what they call a delete marker. Think of it like putting something in the trash, but the trash isn't emptied yet. The older versions are still there under that marker.
And you can get them back by just removing the marker or copying an older version.
Exactly. Simple restore.
Uh-huh.
But that powerful delete marker thing, it raises another question, doesn't it?
Like what?
What if someone, or maybe some automated process gone wrong, tries to deliberately turn off versioning? Or tries to permanently delete those older versions?
Ah, okay. Especially if, say, credentials get compromised. How do you protect against that?
And that is where your bouncer comes in. MFA Delete, multi-factor authentication.
So it's not just about stopping oopsies, but adding a serious lock against malicious actions or, yeah, even big internal mistakes, wiping everything permanently.
Totally. The material's really clear on this. First, you need versioning enabled. Can't have MFA Delete without it.
Makes sense.
Then, you configure MFA Delete, linking it to an actual MFA device, like an authenticator app or a hardware key.
So to permanently delete an object version, or, and this is key, to switch off versioning on that bucket.
You need both the AWS credentials and that code from the MFA device, that time-sensitive code.
It's a serious roadblock, especially critical for sensitive data, I imagine, or regulated industries.
Absolutely critical. Okay, so we've covered accidental loss with versioning and protecting deletions with MFA Delete. But what about the bigger picture? Who gets to access the data in the first place, and what exactly can they do?
Right, permissions. That brings us to bucket policies, yeah.
That's it. These are basically rule sets written in JSON format that you attach directly to the S3 bucket itself. They define exactly who can do what.
And this is where the control gets really fine-grained, which I find fascinating. The guide explains how you specify the principal.
That's the who.
Right?
Yeah, users, roles, other AWS accounts.
Then the actions like get object, put object, delete
That's what
object.
they're allowed to do.
The resources, which specific bucket, or maybe even just objects starting with a certain prefix. And even conditions, like only allow access if it comes from a specific IP address range, or only if the connection is HTTPS.
Exactly. That conditional part is super powerful. It lets you build really precise rules. Grant public read for a website, but only over HTTPS. Or lockdown access for internal apps to just your corporate network IPs.
It's a level of control that honestly probably surprises people used to simpler, maybe more blunt access controls.
Definitely. So wrapping it up, you've got these three working together. S3 versioning, MFA Delete, and bucket policies. They give you this incredibly robust, layered approach.
Yeah, versioning is your deep safety net for mistakes and history.
MFA Delete locks down those critical delete operations, adds that vital second factor.
And bucket policies act as that precise, programmable bouncer, defining exactly who gets through the door and what they can do once inside.
Right. Together, they really move you away from clunky, error-prone manual stuff, like remembering to take backups or relying just on basic user logins.
It becomes automated, much more secure, and it scales incredibly well. It really changes how you think about being responsible for data in the cloud.
It fundamentally does.
So as you think about this deep dive, maybe consider this, how these tools, these granular multi-layered security and recovery features, they don't just protect your data, they actually give you an unprecedented level of control over your digital assets. It really prompts the question, doesn't it? How much command do you truly have over your most critical information in this cloud-first world we're all navigating? Something to mull over.